Hello, my dear Tuluminaris. Welcome one more time to this masterclass about how to invest in the Riviera Maya for the first time. I'm so excited that you are all here because I have a lot of news. Wait until the end of this video, of this presentation, because I have a lot of bonus, a lot of perks, a lot of nice presents that I have for you guys, but you have to go through the whole presentation first. So I'm so excited, as I said, because I try to do this every year, because a lot of things keep changing here in the Riviera Maya, obviously. So now that we are here in this year, 2023, there is a lot of news, a lot of changes, updates that you need to know before investing, and more if this is the first time that you are investing in the Riviera Maya. Even Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, it doesn't matter. Pretty much the same rules applies for every place and every state in Mexico. So let's go ahead and let's go straight into the points. There is a lot of information. Try to grab a pen and a piece of paper and write down all your questions. Remember, this is not a webinar. This is just a master class that you can write down all your questions if you have some at the end of this presentation, and then just send it to me to my email, and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions personally. All right, let's go ahead and start with this presentation. Right now, let me just go ahead. I'm very excited to share a lot of information with you. If you're already following me, as you know, I try to keep this masterclass every year. Why? Because every year we have new information, new updates, new areas to explore. And of course, because we live in a touristic area, it just keeps expanding. So we need to keep doing this every year, that you have the best information available. If you are thinking to invest in the Riviera Maya and buy a property to live or rent it out on Airbnb or whatever you want, this is the video for you. So I'm gonna try to keep this super fast, under 45 minutes. There's a lot of information, so try to grab a piece of paper, a pen, and send me all your questions once that this presentation ends. And also, if you stay at the end of this presentation, I'm gonna be sharing a few perks for you, a few bonuses besides the PDF of this presentation, because this PDF, it will have a bunch of links that you can click and go straight into the source of this information as well. But not just that, I will have a lot of bonus with my money and cash and stuff for you guys. So make sure that you stay here at the end of this presentation of this masterclass. So let's go just straight into the presentation, into all this information, because it's a lot of information. My name is Alberto Amador from Live the Tulum Dream, and soon we will be expanding. We are changing our business to Miami real estate. Miami, why Miami? Because Maya, you know, from the Maya Peninsula. I'm working right now on my real estate license. So soon, in the next few months, I will be promoting also a few properties in Florida, in the United States. So keep an eye on that as well. So we are very excited. We are expanding. We are making this way better for you and for your own investments. So what are we going to be covering here? Basically, it will be a lot of information. Why are we focusing in this area in the Riviera Maya? Well, because so far this is where we are right now, but you can apply some of the information that you will be learning for this masterclass in another states as well. So you live in Puerto Vallarta or in Acapulco or in Los Cabos or whatever, you can still apply some of this information, but remember that each state has its own different rules. But it pretty much is kind of the same. If you have any questions, I will send here some emails that you can send it to me, and I'll make sure that I answer all your questions at the end of this presentation. As I said, so what are we going to be talking about in this masterclass? So number one, who I am, why to invest in the Riviera Maya. It is safe to invest in Mexico, or it is safe to live in Mexico. Can a foreigner invest in Mexico? Land, house, or a condominium? What's better? Pre-sale or ready to deliver? What's better for you? Studio, one bedroom, two bedroom or more? Land, house, or an apartment? Best areas to invest if your intention is to rent it out or Airbnb. Which areas you should be focused on? The whole process is step by step. How to choose your real estate agent who's supposed to represent you. Remember that. How to get discounts, how to save money, property insurance, closing costs, how the administration companies work, important points to look at the contract, long and short-term rentals and its benefits, lawyers that I recommend, administration companies that I recommend as well. The 7 steps to successfully keep your apartment rented, free perks, as I said, free bonus as well at the end of this presentation for you guys that I'm really sure you're gonna love. Okay, so let's keep going. But first of all, who I am, who's your real estate advisor. My name is Alberto Amador. If you don't know me, if you've never seen me before in any other of my class or my YouTube videos, I have a bachelor degree in media communications. I come from Mexico City, but I spent 16 years of my life in New York City. I arrived there with, I didn't speak any English, having any friends or family, and just $100 in my pocket, and I stayed there for 16 years, working in the, in a deli, cleaning toilets, then filling refrigerator with the sodas and all that kind of stuff. Then I moved to the restaurant business, and I started being a busboy, then server, bartender, manager, all that kind of stuff. Then I transitioned to a professional photography as well. But I was kind of like tired of having a boss who tells me what to do. So I was thinking, what can I do in order that I can grow as well as a person? Because when you are an immigrant, you don't have too many options. You're working in the restaurant business or construction only. So I was thinking, what can I do in order that I can grow and have more potentials to grow. So I decided to do real estate. So I got in love with just the idea of real estate. So I decided to apply to for the real estate license in New York, and I failed the test 7 times before passing it. So I'm a very I don't give up so easy. So I'm a very stubborn guy. So I got my real estate license, and I work for a Halstead Real Estate. It's one of the best companies actually in the States, and you can still find in that company in New York. I was at the office on the Upper West Side. Then I met my beautiful wife. We've been married since then. It's been 10 years already. And then we sold everything we had, and we decided to move and travel the world for a couple of years. So we were doing the whole regular stuff. We went to Marrakesh and Spain and Iceland and Vietnam and Laos and all that kind of stuff. So Germany and all that stuff. So we were living there for a couple of years. Traveling, but then at the end we were like, okay, we don't want to go back to New York. It's very expensive and cold, and it's a big city and everything. So we decided to move actually to the Riviera Maya, and we've been here for the past 4 years, and it's been amazing. The Riviera Maya has been really good to us, so we are very, very happy to be here. I want to make sure that what I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor or an accountant, so don't take this as a legal advice. Whatever I'm going to be talking here, this is just based on my experience and as a realtor, as a real estate agent or advisor for you. And my purpose at the end is just to advise you, represent you, and guide you, and help you to find trustworthy investment alternatives in real estate for you and your family from experienced developers that have a good, solid reputation in the area. So here in this presentation, I'm showing you a little bit of my real estate license from New York. I have my real estate license here, also the one here in the middle, for Mexico. I belong to AMPI. It's a realtor association as well. Canaco is another association that it's working with the government to make sure that there's good ethics, and you continue educating yourself as a professional as well. At the same time, I belong to the National Association of Realtors, what is called in the United States as the NAR, so National Association of Realtors, and also the CEDETUS, which is another association, too many associations everywhere for real estate. But what I'm trying to say is that since the last couple of years, Mexico is being very tough with this kind of legal advisors or agencies, because in the past everyone could be a real estate agent, and that's it. And no way to track or have a professional uh, you know uh, professional service from them. So the government created this norm or rule, is the 427 rule, or 420, or norma 427, where I'm going to leave a link here that you can go ahead and read it if you want to. That it's coming from the government, and it tells you that since two couple of years ago, all people who wants to be part of this industry, of the real estate industry, they need to have a license, and there's my license right there, and they need to have education, the proper education. That's what I mean. And also they need to follow all the standards and rules and be registered with the government, pay taxes from all this business that you're doing, and all that kind of stuff. So you have it. All the information is right there. Let's keep going super fast. Let's go. Number one, why the Riviera Maya? Why would you want to invest in the Riviera Maya? Why so attractive for so many people? I'm sure if you're watching these videos because you already, someone told you that the Riviera Maya is the place to be. Tulum, everybody is like, it's like fashion right now. But why? Why is that? Well, the Riviera Maya are not just the beaches. There's many things that you can do here in this beautiful part of the south of Mexico, like Isla Mujeres, Cozumel, Cancun, Bacalar, Cobá, Merida, Chichen Itza. There are archaeological sites, food, culture, tradition, Xcaret, which are like theme parks. The people, just to the Mexicans, the people here are very kind and very friendly. Easy flights to Canada, New York, Florida, Europe, and Central America. Low cost of living, international tourism. 70% of the international tourism that comes to Mexico comes through the Riviera Maya. No restrictions for Airbnb and other platforms as well, by the way, if you're thinking to rent out your property. Tulum is one of the most visited locations in the world. We have water sports, tournaments, festivals, and a lot more. That's why you should invest in the Riviera Maya, because now investing in Tulum is like investing in Cancun 20 years ago. Exactly the same thing. This is the right time with a good prices, and before it's already too late. What is coming? What else is coming for 2023? At the end of this year, the Mexican president is building the Mayan train. It's a train that basically will connect 5 different states in the south of Mexico, in the whole peninsula, and it will be 100% touristic, meaning that it will stop in Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Bacalar, Cozumel, and no, not Cozumel, that's an island, sorry, Chetumal, and then many other different touristic archaeological sites and magic towns. We call them pueblos mágicos. It will be amazing because all these places who they've been actually kind of quiet and nobody knew about them, but they're still beautiful. Now it will have a more tourists. You will have better and faster access to them, and it will bring a lot of business and opportunities to this area. Also, 2025, the international Tulum airport will be built. So now you don't need to arrive to Cancun in order to go to Tulum and then drive 2 hours. So now you can just take a flight directly to Tulum, and in 25 minutes, half an hour, you're going to be right there in your apartment. So a lot of really good things are coming. They're going to build one here between Tulum and Playa del Carmen. They're going to build a racetrack for the Formula One. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. And I'm leaving a few links to the websites of these projects as well. But it is safe to invest in Mexico. Well, we're going to talk about two different kind of safety nets. If we're talking about the business side, if it's safe to invest in Mexico, well, yes, as long as you work with just well-known developers that have a good reputation in the industry, and that's why you have us, that's why you have me as your real estate advisor, because we're going to make sure that you just work with those kind of developers, that we check the legal documentation. We also always recommend lawyers that you can work with, that they can read the contracts and the fine prints and all that kind of stuff. We will send you monthly videos of what's happening, how the construction is going, that you keep an eye always on your property, on your investment. and always make sure that you get the help of a licensed real estate agent, and at the same time just have a common sense. It's as long as you have common sense, you do your homework. Definitely it is safe, as I say, you are getting the help of professionals like us. Everything will be fine. Now, talking about the other kind of security, like the cartel, the crime, all that kind of stuff. Well, I have to say, and I say with all respect, but there's more mass shootings in the States than actually in Mexico. So it's less likely that something happened to you here than in many other countries. Um, Obviously, if you search for trouble, you will find it. But if you have a just normal life and everything, they don't care about you. So usually, whatever you hear in the news is just between them. So they never care about the tourism and just the normal people like you and I. So I'm going to leave a link also there that you can see just the crime statistics and all that kind of stuff. So that's there for you. And let's talk also, what do you need in order to invest in the Riviera Maya? What kind of documentation or paperwork do you need if you decide to invest here? Well, the first thing and the most important thing that you need is a fideicomiso. Fideicomiso basically is a permit that the Mexican government is offering for all non-Mexicans to own a piece of property in the restricted zone. The restricted zone is basically 62 miles from any borderline or 31 miles from any coastline. Why? Because this is just it's national security. Basically, they don't want that foreigners they own those ways that you can invade or enter a country and make sense, right? But if you are investing or buying a property in Mexico City, for example, you don't need it because it's not in a restricted zone, so you will buy it as any other regular Mexican. But if your intention is to buy a property near to the water in the fun side and beautiful and everything, then you need a fideicomiso. The fideicomiso lasts 50 years, 50. It's just one time, and it has a cost of 2,500 US dollars. And then after the second year, you need a renewal for 450 US dollars. But basically, with 2 nights that you rent out your apartment, if your intention is to rent out your property, with 2, 3 nights that you rented, you pay the whole year. So don't worry too much about that. And as I said, if the property is not in the restricted zone, so you are good to go. I'm going to leave also the link of a bank presentation here. Usually, whoever do this fideicomiso, which in the United States is called a trust, it's a bank trust. So I'm going to leave also a link of one of the banks who they offer that service for you guys, that you have a better idea what they offer, how much they cost, how it works, all that kind of stuff. It's right there, the information. It's in Spanish, but if you just copy and paste a PDF, you just copy and paste into Google Translate, it's pretty much easy to read as well. All right, so that's for you. Once that you ask me for the presentation via email, send me an email, and I'll send you this presentation for free. No worries. So before you invest here in the Riviera Maya, what are your goals? You need to think, what do you want to do with that property? Do you want to live there, to rent it out, mix, sometimes rent it, sometimes to enjoy? What's the whole purpose of it? So let's describe the 3 different kind of properties that you can invest here in the Riviera Maya. First of all, the condominiums and apartments. Regular apartments, they are inside of a development. Usually those units, they are easy to rent on Airbnb, and they come with amenities. Amenities like pool, grill, bar, restaurant, gym, sauna, steam room, spa, all that kind of stuff. All those developments comes most of the time with those amenities in order to make it more attractive to your future customer. What else? They have security 24/7. So if you're not here in Mexico, if you are in your country, you make sure that your apartment always is going to be in good hands, because it will have always security 24/7. And usually these kind of units, these kind of investments are more affordable. They are cheaper as well. Now, a house, if you want to buy a house, I would recommend you to buy a house if you are thinking to, in some point, retire here or if you want to come and live here, then yeah, definitely a house would be the best option for you. You don't have neighbors, you have more space, but they're also good for Airbnb as well. But usually they don't come with amenities. They don't come with those amenities like the bar, the staff, the bartender. So maybe that's pretty much the difference. Security 24/7. Well, I don't know. You would need maybe to have someone who's taking care of your property while you're not here. So that's why it gets a little bit tricky as well, because if you're not here, it could be that people just break in or start throwing garbage into your your yard or your garden or whatever. So you need to have someone who's keeping an eye if you are thinking to invest in a property as well. A house, usually they are more expensive as well, more expensive than an apartment, so that's something that you need to consider. And the third option is a piece of land, land lot. Usually those are a bit cheaper. They don't need maintenance. They don't need Wi-Fi, electricity, all that kind of stuff, because it's just a piece of land right there. But also you don't have a cash flow. Once that you have a piece of land, you cannot rent it out most of the time. So it just stays there. So it's money that will stay there, and you're not gonna see any cash flow in the future. So this is something that you need to consider. Let's keep going. What's better for you? On pre-sale, meaning under construction, or ready to deliver? Well, on pre-sale, it has certain benefits, like you're gonna have a better price as well. Usually condos and that stage of the construction, they're lower in price. You have more options to choose from. So from a development, when you're at early stage of the construction, you can pick the apartment that has a better views or has more more light, or has a better fluid, or no, not fluid, better wind. But, when the wind runs better and it's fresher, that's what I tried to say. So wherever you can get one of those apartments as well. And also you can get financing, because usually it will be just a down payment, and then the rest could go up to 24 or 36 months without any interest, and it will be easier for you to pay out. But also it's no cash flow because it's a construction, remember. And there's some kind of risk because things can happen. Maybe the developer start getting delay or things like that. So it's almost no likely that the developer will stop building. It doesn't really happen that often here, but those things can happen as well. So you need to keep that in mind. And most of the time, you're going to have to use your own savings as well, because you cannot use a bank loan on a construction building as well. So those are one of the pros and cons. When we're ready to deliver, most of the time you need all the money up front. So that's also something that you need to consider. You're going to need more money, and also the price will be higher as well, because when it's on pre-sale, the developer will give you a better price than the price market. The price market is when it's ready to deliver, ready to start renting it out or to live. So that's why a ready to deliver unit, it will be more expensive. But you can have a cash flow. So if you receive it, if you get it next week, you can start rent it out right away, and you start having some money as well. So those are some of the benefits. But as I say, they're more expensive. But you can use also a bank loan as well. For those kind of properties, yes, you can use a mortgage or a bank loan. So that's a good thing. But also there are less options to choose from. So most of the time, the apartments that are available at this stage of the construction, it's because they didn't sell on the pre-sale stage, and maybe they don't have a good fluids as well. They don't have a good views, or they don't have a nice breeze, or there are maybe certain corners that some people they don't like. So usually those are the apartments that nobody bought in the pre-sale stage. So that's why still available. So you need also to keep an eye on that thing. Can you use loans in Mexico? Well, as your real loans in Mexico, like it says right there, as your real estate advisor, I recommend you that first you try to get a loan in your own country first, because as long as I know, for example, in the United States, it's between 6 and 7 the interest rate right now, which is pretty high, by the way, also. But in Mexico, it's around 9 or 10%. So it doesn't make any sense to apply for a loan here if you're going to be ending paying more for your apartment. But in case, I don't know, for any reasons you decide that you want to, it is possible. Yes. I'm going to leave a link right there where I have my put my recommended options for you for bank loans as well. It is possible, very simple to get. Actually, it takes just around 3 weeks. And it's based on your credit score in your own country. So pretty simple as well. It is possible. Then the question is, how much money will you make with your property? How much money are you going to be making on rentals with your apartment, with your investment? Well, that's going to depend on many things. So it's going to depend on location, amenities, time of the year. Remember that we live in a touristic area, so we have sometimes high season, low season, mid seasons. But basically, to keep it an average, um, um, between 8 and 12% return of investment a year out of the total cost of your property. That's what you're going to be receiving once that you pay all the bills. So after you pay all the bill, taxes, whatever, electricity, water, internet, all that kind of stuff, rental administration companies, all that kind of stuff, you're going to keep in your pocket between 8 and 12% of that investment. So that's an average conservative number. Then also will depend on the administration company. Remember, it doesn't make any sense to have a beautiful house with ocean views and whatever if your administration company sucks, right? So you need to make sure, we're going to talk a little bit more later about it, but you need to make sure that you have a good administration company that brings all those results for you, and make sure that it has a good reviews. You need to make sure that you start building those good reviews, because the more positive reviews you have, the more it will rent your unit. I'm going to leave a couple of videos here as well where I talk a little bit more about it. Otherwise, it will take forever. So you can click on those and take a look at those videos on YouTube. Now, what is better for you? What makes more sense? What it will rent more? Studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, villas, houses? What rents more? What is the market asking for? So it will depend on your budget. Of course, if you don't have a budget for a house of a 2 bedroom, maybe a studio would make more sense for you. But so far, the studies based on Airbnb and Booking.com, the 1 bedroom apartment is what it rents more, because it's not as small as a studio. You have more livable space. And since COVID, people changed the way they travel. Before, it was just on the weekend, 1 week, and just on Christmas or summer vacations. But now, since people can work from home, the famous digital nomads, now people are traveling for longer period of times and more times out of the year. So a 1 bedroom apartment, you have enough space to keep separate where you are actually sleeping and where you're working. So that's why it rents more. But also houses or villas, they rent pretty well because there are not too many of those. So big families or groups or weddings, all that kind of stuff, sometimes they're looking for those big properties. So those rent pretty well, but of course it costs more to get them. Okay. Now, if you're thinking to get maybe an apartment, a 2 bedroom apartment or 3 bedroom apartment, I recommend you that you use the lock-off units. Lock-off means that each bedroom, it will have its own separate entrances, meaning that you can rent the whole property to a big family or a group of friends, or you can rent it out in chunks, on pieces, different bedrooms to different people, and because they have different entrances, they don't even see each other's faces. So that's pretty cool. That's a smart way to do it. At the same time, the person who's going to rent out the bigger area, like with the living room and the kitchen, it will pay more than the one who's also paying, or just paying for the hotel suite, which comes with a full bathroom and maybe a small refrigerator to keep your beer cold, or water as well. So make sure that if you are thinking one of those properties, make sure that tell your real estate agent for a lock-off unit as well. Now, where to invest? I'm having here a map where I'm showing my favorite areas to invest in Playa del Carmen. First, let's go to that one. In the green area, as you can see right there, uh, that's Centro. The closest, you need to keep in mind that the closest to the water, the better, because it's going to be close to the more services and more fun. And at the end, people comes here for the beach. So the closer makes sense, right? So that green circle right there, it's my favorite areas to invest in. Playa del Carmen, Sasilja, El Centro, all that spot is they are really nice. Now the ones in the orange color are the upcoming areas, the areas that maybe they are not 100% touristic, but they are right now, pushing towards that. There are new buildings there. You can find a new good deals because it is not that touristic quite yet, but it will soon. And then the red circle right there on top is just where all the locals live. So maybe I don't recommend you, if your intention is to rent it out for a short vacation rentals, I don't recommend you to go there unless you're looking for something for you to live, or long-term rentals. Maybe that area on red also would be good for you. Now let's go and see Tulum. Same Tulum, as you can see right there in the map. I have my favorite areas. The green color is the one that I would recommend you to invest. Obviously, inside of there is Aldea Sama. Aldea Sama is more like a gated community here, and also Tulum 101. It's Tulum 101 is going to be the VIP area of the whole Tulum. So all that area of obviously it's closer to the water as well. It's going to be very exclusive, more expensive, but perfect. A lot of people they just want to stay there as well. All your future clients. In the orange circles right there are my second options as well. Region 8 and maybe La Veleta. And not also region 12, region 11. Those areas are good things are happening. A lot of restaurants, new places, a new mall. Just right there as well. And in region 8, the one on the south, on the bottom of the near to the water, is a lot of jungle. So you're gonna see a lot of a beautiful like Chiang Mai, Vietnam kind of style constructions. A lot of jungles, beautiful as well, but they don't have all the services yet. So the all the streets they are not paved. So sometimes when it rains, a little bit messy, like potholes and that kind of stuff. And it's pretty dark. At night it's dark, so it's like you're walking in the middle of the jungle. Maybe a jaguar is gonna jump in and just eat all your food and your tacos that you were so looking forward to get but to watch a movie or something. Anyways, then also the red areas right there are my areas, my least areas that I don't like to invest too much. The one on top, it's the Asama, it's because it's El Centro, so it's very noisy, a lot of local people, and just pretty busy right now. Then region 15, sorry, the one above region 8. I don't know, it doesn't come. It doesn't convince me as well because it lack of services and all the streets are like that kind of ugly. So if you're gonna be in one of those areas, at least be on region 8, which is close to the water as well. Now, there's other areas as well, beautiful areas like in this area that you could or you should explore. For example, Cozumel, in wherever you see that green area right there, there's never sargasso there. As you know, sargasso comes from the inside of the ocean towards land. So that side, it never gets sargasso. So Cozumel always have beautiful, beautiful beaches. It's a very beautiful, quiet island. But if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you like, Cozumel is for you. Then also you see Playa del Carmen on top, and then Tulum on the bottom. So in between those two, there are beautiful areas like Puerto Venturas is a beautiful gated community, pretty safe, just full of Americans, Canadians, Europeans. Then Akumal is beautiful as well because they are not that close to the cities. You can have good prices, but at the same time, they're very exclusive because you are targeting different kinds of clients, different kind of people who will rent your units. Usually, those kind of clients They don't care about money. They have they have the potential to rent a car. So if it's a little bit far away from the cities, it doesn't matter, because they want beachfront units. They want to have the view, the ocean views, even if they pay more. So it's very exclusive, those kind of properties. Maybe it rents a little bit less weeks out of the year, but it will rent at really, really good prices when you rent them out. So there you have them. And now this map that I'm showing you right here is whenever the Mayan train opens, it will stop on all these different sites that I'm pointing out, that I'm showing you right there. So I just took a 18 days road trip with my wife in a car, and we just drove along the Mayan train route. So I'm very excited. I don't have that video yet on YouTube, but when I have them, make sure that you watch it, because you're gonna be able to see all these different towns and the construction and the jungle and archaeological sites, and it's beautiful. So for example, if you see what it says Merida on all that side, also because it's the inside of the peninsula, in all that side there's no sargasso. It's beautiful. The beaches are beautiful there, but they've been very quiet and they don't receive too many tourists. Some people, they never heard about Campeche or Isla Guada or Celestun. They never heard about it because it so far it's a little bit hard to reach. I mean, it's a long drives from the Cancun airport or maybe from Merida. So people, they don't go that often to those places, but they're so beautiful. And once that the Mayan trains start running, all these magic towns or pueblos mágicos that we call, they're going to receive more and more tourism as well. So keep an eye on those. If you want to know about properties in those areas as well, I also have some properties in all the whole peninsula as well for you if you are interested. Okay, let's go back to this side of the peninsula, the Riviera Maya. Which one rents more? Which one is better? A lot of my clients, they ask me that. Tulum is better or Playa del Carmen is better? Well, Playa del Carmen, we already have affluent tourism every year. We have tourists that they come often, or they repeat. They keep coming every 2 3 years to Playa del Carmen because they have all services. We have hospitals, banks, malls, restaurants, sports centers, everything. You have, and also remember, because I mentioned in Playa del Carmen, from wherever you are, you don't need a transportation. You can walk in 5 minutes. You are on the beach. So it's very easy to walk. It's very accessible, and it's very pretty as well. In Playa del Carmen. Versus Tulum. Tulum is growing. It's not quite there yet for services. Sometimes they don't have good internet, or sometimes once a week the electricity, the power just runs out for like an hour or something. Because as I said, they keep building stuff, and some streets, they are not paved. So if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to deal with those kind of things, it's fine, because you will get really good prices. And now, once the Tulum is start getting a little more steady, and they have more uh, uh, construction going, and more services and everything, the prices will go up as well. So as I said, it's a good time to invest in Tulum right now, because it's not quite there yet. So it's good. And also, if you like that kind of jungle, in Playa del Carmen, it feels like a city, a small city, very small city, but it feels like a city. There's not too many trees. It's just buildings and streets and concrete everywhere. In Tulum, it's just trees everywhere, just cenotes and trees and stuff. It's beautiful, but it has its pros and cons as well. So which one is better? Well, try to diversify. Try to get one apartment in Playa del Carmen and maybe one in Tulum, and see which one works better. I'm pretty sure whenever it's not rented in Playa, maybe it will be rented in Tulum, and so vice versa as well. So, do you need to be here to close the deal? The answer is no. Everything can be, online via a Zoom video calls as well, and you sign everything on DocuSign, and you do bank transfer as well. So you can just come here and just receive your property. I have clients from Canada and the States who they've never been in Tulum, and they bought everything online through me, obviously, because I make sure that everything is it's well, everything is correct and legal in a good legal stance for them, and then they just sign electronically, and that's it. I'll make sure that you follow us on Instagram as well as Live the Tulum Dream. And what's the whole process? So, okay, once that your advisor send you a few options that you found an apartment that you like in a location that you love, then what's the next step? Well, the next step is to reserve the unit with 3,000 US dollars that are 100% refundable for 3 weeks. What happened during those 3 weeks? So the developer will send you all the documentation and the contract digitally to your email. You can review it and you can send it to your lawyer, or if you need a recommendation from lawyers, let me know. I can recommend you a few ones that works with the local laws of the state. So as well, I always recommend that you have a second opinion of a lawyer, just in case, that just to make sure that everything's fine. If you change your mind for any reason, like, you know what, I decided not to move, I didn't like what I saw in the contract, or I found something else, you just send me an email, and those 3,000 US dollars are going to be back into your bank account. If you decide to move forward, and if you decide to continue going with the transaction, then you just sign the contract, and then you just send the down payment, which usually is 30%, and then that's it. You are good to go. So that's it. Congratulations. What are the payment methods that most of the developers take here? So usually are 30, 40, 30. I forgot to put that one on the presentation, but it's 30, 40, 30, 30% down payment, 40% during construction, and 30 at the rest at the time they give you the keys of your apartment. The other one is 30, 70. That's also pretty good for you as a client. It's just 30% down payment, and all the rest, 70%, is when they give you the keys of your apartment. So that means it's a solid developer, but they don't need your money in order to finish the construction. But if you have the chance to offer a more aggressive down payment, then we start with some discounts. For example, 50, 30, 20 is 50% down payment, 30 during construction, and 20 at the end. Usually they give you between 3% discount of the whole price of the property. Or if you can offer 80, 20, 80% down payment and 20 at the end, no payments in between, then usually you can get around 6%. But since you're working with me, sometimes I can get you a little bit more. So, you know. So I'm gonna leave a link here of a reservation letter sample, so that you can have an idea what's on it. What else? Closing costs. Let's talk about closing costs now. Basically, closing costs is going to be include the notary, the deed, the fideicomiso in case that you need one as a non-Mexican, and all of that, it will be around 7% of the total cost of your apartment. It's around 7% the closing costs, so that you have an idea and you keep that in mind, because that's an extra cost that is different than what you're going to be paying for the apartment itself. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then after that, you're good to go. Nothing else. There's no hidden payments or anything. You don't pay me anything. My job for you guys, as I say, is 100% for free, since the developer is the one who pays my commission. Okay. Then after the second year, you just need to call the property taxes, and that one is called predial here in Mexico, and it's very cheap. It's 0.9% of the total cost of your property. So usually one bedroom apartment that costs 150,000 US dollars, you're going to be paying around maybe 2,000 pesos per year. So with one night that you rent out your apartment, you pay the whole year. So I don't think that's something that you need to worry too much. Now, understanding your agent. How are you gonna make sure that you find a good real estate agent? So real estate agents or advisors work free of charge for you. You need to remember that. And work just with agents, work just with one agent at a time. Sometimes when you work with different agents and they send you different options, blah, 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 could be a little bit too much information, and then you don't even remember who sent you who, and blah, blah, blah. And you need to also understand that we work under commission, so sometimes if you have different agents send you different information, sometimes it'll be messy who's going to get the commission, or, well, that's my client, no, it was mine, blah, blah, blah. So in respect of your time and our time as well, so we ask you to work with just one agent at the time. like they say in the States, too many cooks in the kitchen can be a little bit messy as well. And something that please keep in mind, I don't stop saying it, work only with real estate agents slash brokers slash advisors slash agencies who are licensed. Ask for the license. I didn't bring the license with me. It's in my office, but it's a plastic license that you ask for it, and you need to make sure that it's up to date, and then in that way you're gonna be working with a professional and not with someone who pretends to be a realtor or an agent as well. So do not risk your investment. Ask for the license. It's a plastic license that every person involved on the real estate industry must have. Okay, there you have it. Well, we're almost there. We're 44 minutes. Perfect, almost there. Just for you guys, I prepared this last part of the presentation for you guys, only for the people who are watching this master class. I have a few perks for you, free bonuses. So whenever you do an investment through us, through me, or one of my colleagues, one of my agents as well, you're gonna have free perks. So one of those perks is a flight round trip for one person for up to 500 US dollars. So you can cover the flight ticket from wherever you're coming from up to 500 US dollars, or you can get 500 US dollars towards your closing costs as well. One or the other, not the two of them, just or the flight ticket or the closing costs as well, paid for us. So that's one of the perks. Plus, besides those two, besides one of those two, you also gonna get one experience. So one of those could be 2 entrances to Xcaret, this amazing park that I told you, a theme park that's beautiful. It's a lot of fun that you cannot miss. Or you can get a catamaran trip for 2 people with all included drinks, food, and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Sunset, beautiful. Do some snorkeling and stuff. It's great. Or you can also get a two-day pass in all-inclusive resorts. So for 2 people, all-inclusive, drinks and food included. So it will be a lot of fun that you can start, feeling how it's to live here in the Caribbean side. Restrictions may apply, and we request a minimum of 3 months exclusivity agreement. We request a minimum of 3 months exclusivity agreement in order that we make sure that we work together, we understand each other, and we respect each other's time. So please, if you want to do that, that has to be done as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. I hope I recorded this time correctly. You also gonna be able, besides those perks, besides the flight ticket, besides the 500 US dollars, besides the tickets and everything, you also, if you send me an email, you can get this presentation, the slides, as a PDF format, so you can click in all those links with all the information, with lawyers and rental administration companies that I recommend, all that kind of stuff. So I send it to you. Plus, you're gonna be able to get a free 30 minutes video call with me or one of my agents as well, to answer all your questions and to start working together. Okay. So make sure that you use those perks, that you use those links. Click on the link below here. Somewhere it's going to be somewhere there. Click on there, and I hope we can see you guys soon here in Mexico. Thank you so much again, one more for your time. Remember that you need to get, if you don't live here and you don't speak the language, you need to use an intermediary agent or real estate advisor. So why not use the professionally and the experience of a professional who are here based in the Riviera Maya. So I hope I can talk with you soon. Thank you so much. Click on the links. See you next time. Ciao, ciao, and see you on the beach. Gracias. Ciao.